as far as being open to life, like it was a transition, right? It wasn't a switch that flipped necessarily. As far as making sure that we are open to life, that was kind of I guess that's just how we're going to live forward. But we resented it a little bit for a little while.
Very much so.
And I'd kind of look at some of my Protestant friends and I get a little jealous, like, look at what you're going out and doing. And I'm living by these rules, but now it's actually flipped. And now I feel like, look at how fulfilled my life is. And I'm not saying my Protestant friends aren't fulfilled, but I get so much joy now out of living this way versus, and it's not like I'm shackled in any way or it's really for my benefit, for my family's benefit. That kind of thing.
You're saying that because you have maybe Protestant friends who are having less kids.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And I see them, they're able to do things we can't do, like travel, fly, RV. It's hard to find RVs for a family our size. And so, but that's okay. You know, life is still so much more meaningful for us with our family than it would be taking a trip out of just taking a trip or flying somewhere or something like that. So, yeah, I've learned to love it now. It's I wish we lived this way longer, right? We wish we started having kids sooner.
Yeah, I think that's a big, also, I mean, you know me and all my millions of disclaimers that it's a very personal story. We're talking about our own journey, but I think that is something I do struggle with to this day. So while I am fully convicted, I can't lie and say these other thoughts don't seep in. You know, there's times, so recently I just went to Las Vegas to go see the Backstreet Boys and I thought it would have, I met up with a friend there, but the first night I was alone and I really just wish Tim could have been there. We have not had a weekend away. I couldn't even tell you last time, probably like 2018. And so, the hospital when we go get, when I go give birth.
Love those hospital steaks or whatever they have there.
And so I remember I was sitting there and I called him and I said, oh, can we please, I just want to do like a weekend away, just us two. And there are some families I know who have 9 kids and they can manage. The way our kids are at night, we cannot put that on anyone else at this point, or we're just not comfortable with it. Like, I don't think we would enjoy ourselves knowing our kids were just screaming and calling out for mom and dad in the middle of the night. And, you know, maybe that's on us on the way we do the nighttime routine, you know, but that's where we are. So again, I know there's families who have 10 kids and they're able to still, like, they have a village, they have that support and they're able to go and do mom and dad time. And that's awesome. So I'm not trying to say if you have a big family, that's never happening. This is just,
I think, by the way, I have my brother and sister-in-law, they have 7 under 9 and they do somehow do the getaways.
Yes.
But again, it's a family culture thing because I have 3 and the idea of doing a getaway with my 3 right now sounds overwhelming because I don't want to leave them at night. So it's a parenting style thing. It's the child. There's so many different factors.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's not because we have a big family we can't get out, but yeah, I feel the same way. If we were down with the first 3, it'd be the same thing. And so, but so there were times like that though, when I'm sitting alone in this nice hotel room and just wishing like, I just want, you know, time. And then I think about this and I get a little, you know, I'm human too. And I love my babies. I would never exchange, but I said, it'd be kind of nice to know if we were done, right? We could be ready to move on to the next chapter. And then, but Tim's like, really, is that really what you want? Because there's also this massive freedom with being open to life, because I have women who how do you know when you're done having kids? It's the biggest question I get asked. So people who are like new to my page, how do you know when you're done having kids? And I see women, you know, make these videos or I'll talk to women and it's quite the burden. That's a big decision to make, right? And it's really weighs on them.
When my husband dies. or my biological clock stops, you know, or just goes fully.
And because we've talked about this, that, you know, vasectomies are just the norm in our culture. Yes. So that's what they're going through. Is this when
should he get the snip?
Mm-hmm. It's a weight. And I know there's some women who say, oh no, I felt like a weight was lifted once we made that decision. And I can't attest to their journeys, but I do see this struggle when they have to make this choice. And while sometimes I sit here and I say, wouldn't it be nice to know if we were just done, right? We can move and then we can start planning these things. But then there's such a freedom because again, I thought I was done with 4. We thought we were done with 4, right? And there's this freedom of like, I don't look at baby number 6 and like get crazy emotional. Like, this is the last time I'm going to see the first steps. This is the last time, you know, and it's, I can enjoy everything. And, I think there's such a beauty in life, like not knowing what's next. And also when I do get a little down, like, oh, I just want to take a little vacation, which we could do. We need to figure out our nighttime routine. But so it's not like you can't do those things. But when I do
like a month of boot camp.
Yeah.
We're gonna do bedtime routine. So
before number 4, I think that's what your mom did. She came over and
she helped us out to
we would go on date nights, just go down the beach or something, and your mom would do the bedtime routine with the kids, put them all to bed.
try to get them used to it. It didn't work. But that's just our parenting styles and our kids. But anyway, when I get caught up in some of these things that, like, okay, yeah, the vacation is like, would that vacation be worth more than like some of our, having a bigger family? And then I think it's a big thing too of thinking long term too. Like, what's our Thanksgiving table going to look like in 20 years? And so there's, I always say something I've heard it resonated with me, and I shared a lot, is sacrifice is not a bad thing. It's giving up something of comfort now for something so much greater in the future. And so, yes, I'm not going to sit here and say everything's perfect. I love this. I feel convicted in this decision every single day, and I never question it, because that's a lie. I question it. I have quite a few times where I get down sometimes, especially when I get wrapped up in the world. I want to talk from a vanity perspective. Actually, I did a video recently where I showed Tim and how he's just getting hotter. Like, I showed a picture of him, his license, his old license and his new license. And I'm like, this isn't fair. Like, he's just getting hotter. And so from a perspective, like, will I ever get my body back? Right. I don't even know what that means. And once you have 6 kids, I don't know how I would expect to look the same way I did before having 6 kids. But there's also that too. Like, I just want to get in shape, and I'm not talking from a health perspective. I'm talking from a vanity perspective. So there's times too where it's like, oh, like I'm never gonna look the way I want to look. But the things I'm emphasizing on, again, they're not health. They're vanity metrics that are worldly. And so so whenever I do get in this spiral of a thought process, you're really good at grounding me with that and helping me keep perspective on what our future is going to look like.
We don't get a lot of me time right now with all the young kids, really is what it is. And, sometimes it's frustrating, right? You want to get something done, or you want to exercise, whatever you're trying to do. The other day when I was in the garage exercising, one of the kids came out and he interrupted me.
Our 2-year-old.
Our 2-year-old came out. And at the time it annoyed me a little bit. But then later I thought, there's going to be a day where I'm going to be able to do that uninterrupted. And, I'm going to look over and that door is not going to open because they're all grown up. And so, yeah, I don't want to stop having, being open to that, right? Because it's amazing. Mm-hmm. So.
Also, I try to hold him off, by the way. People
No, I know you.
No, I just know what people get. Like, why can't you let your man work out?
Yeah.
I know, but it's actually really sweet. And this happens with a lot of the toddlers, especially if I have another baby. I think this actually happens just because they start to realize who both their caretakers are as they get older, and they become very attached to dad during like the 2-year-old phase, very attached. Like, if he knows daddy's home, he wants to be with daddy. And so when he knew you were in the garage working out, I really tried to keep him away, but he's tenacious.
He's got a lot of gumption.
I know. He's got, well, and I know he's not the boss, but at the same time, it was just like, I also knew you wouldn't want him. If you're right there, you would want to comfort him.
Yeah, and it's okay. I mean, there will be more time for me later for a lot of that stuff, right? I mean, because they're only young ones. And
you still, and I'm by no means are we trying to advocate like put your health on the back burner, because it is important to work out and eat right and take care of yourself with the amount of kids you have. But it wasn't as if, it was a little interruption into your workout. It wasn't as if you're never working out because of it.
It's that whole saying is like, one day is going to be the last day I'm going to mess this up.
The picking up.
They ask you to pick them up or something like that. And you don't know when that day is going to be, right? But